My name is Lane. How are y'all doing? Welcome back to my podcast. And I just want to say that this is my first podcast. It's going to be on Spotify. I did one before. If you want to go check it out, if you're listening in your car, if you're listening to on Spotify, if you want to go check out my YouTube channel, it's under Lane Johnson. Today, I kind of want to dive into the topic that I was really debating on whether to do this first, because obviously the first podcast that you do, you want to make it good, just so it kind of hooks attention or hook the viewers in. And this one is, I'm going to call Living with Fear. I think we all know that we fear something. Everybody fears something. But it's whether or not how we overcome that fear, or do we let it eat it away? So before I did the video podcasts, or the ones that's up on YouTube, I actually did podcasts before, trying to get a hang of it. And I did about like 3 or 4 of them. They don't go out anywhere. They're not anywhere in particular that you can go look it up, because I don't plan on posting them. But one of the podcasts was called Living with Fear. And I got a chance to kind of hear it and kind of look over it, to see certain topics that I might have talked about that future me might have looked back on it and was like, well, I'm not sure if that's like the best thing in the world. But it was very informational, and I know it's weird to say that I was informational, but it is informational because we do struggle with fear. And now more than ever, we have one more thing that we got to fear, which is the COVID, which is staying in a house. Maybe if you're alone in your room, you got to worry about if you're ever going to get out of that situation. And I know that I fear that, quite a bit, because, I don't know. I'm doing everything that I can to kind of get out of that. Like I'm going out, eating, doing all this. Like today, I'm probably going to be editing this podcast at a Buffalo Wild Wings or a McAllister's that's next to me. But just that in general, you don't know. I mean, it's something that it comes fast and it comes to you. And, I obviously have my parents. I have my brother. I mean, I got some friends that I can talk to, and I'm not completely alone. And I do have God, and I'm not completely alone, but for the most part. And I know a lot of people can kind of get this if you are single, if you are, and you don't have the most friends, like me. Being alone is not just sitting there and having nobody with you, because you are alone, but alone, like nowadays, is more of a mental mindset. Because obviously I'm not alone, but I feel alone. But that's just because whenever I want to text, whenever I want to call somebody, whenever, I want to sit there and not be selfish, but tell people my problems, no one's there, because why would they? They got their own things to deal with, and you got your own things to deal with. And so you kind of learn to be by yourself, and it's scary. That's my fear, because I don't want to die alone. That's one of my biggest. I'm not afraid of death. I really ain't. I believe that after death, you go somewhere that is an eternity of joy. So I'm not afraid of death. I am afraid of heights, but that's different. It's different from being afraid of something like heights, because you're never in a situation, you're barely in a situation where you'll be like, oh no, I'm afraid that I might fall. But with loneliness or being alone, you always feel this way, no matter what, and you're afraid of it. And you're just scared constantly. You're in this fear. And I kind of want to, like, for people that feel that way, the best way that's helped me is by going out and doing things, but also finding a hobby that you may enjoy that you can really stick with. Actually, I started learning guitar. I bought a guitar and I started learning it. And it was because I felt that way. And ukulele, even that, I bought a ukulele, started playing it, and now I know a couple chords. Piano, I've always loved piano. one of the biggest things I started doing is actually working out. I work out every single day. I try not to miss a day. And when I say try, I mean I don't. I don't miss a day unless if I got something planned that day. But that's just my happiness. That's what I enjoy doing. I've always loved music. So what do? I make it. Always loved working out, or I always wanted to be fit. I always wanted to have a six pack with chest, with muscles, with just this definition. That's what I've always wanted. So I'm going to achieve that. And it's what you want to go towards that you need to do. I don't enjoy working under anybody. I don't want to work under anybody. I worked for three people. I worked for three places. First one was Choo Choo Barbecue, which is a local restaurant in Chickamauga. It was fine. I had to do everything. It's like I had to run the food, and then I had to take the orders, and then go and run the food, and then clean tables, and then pick up. It was a lot, especially for me being in high school. And then COVID kind of laid me off because of COVID, and I just never went back. And then I started working for a construction company. And that was actually really good for me because I did gain muscle and I did, become stronger there. But I wanted to do something different because I was tired. I was wore out all day. I just wanted to go home and sleep. That's not who I am at all. That's never been who I was. So I kind of got off of that and started working at Rock City. And that was good. I mean, it was fun. But it's just how toxic some of the people are there was like kind of iffy. And so I got off that as well. And now I'm at school. I don't have a job. I'm really going to put all my time into focusing on making these podcasts and doing things for me to try to make money for me. I mean, that's really what I want. So that's what I'm focusing on. And I have the pleasure where I've saved enough money to where I don't have to worry about a job right now. And it's always, it gives you a good feeling whenever you do that, because you do so many things. Blood, sweat, tears. I mean, I was sitting there crying. I mean, I would be crying at the end of the night because I would be so wore out and tired and hurting. And now that I don't have to worry about that, it's awesome. Like, obviously I got to worry about other mental things, but for the most part, my physical condition is amazing. I feel great. I feel like I can move around. I feel like I can lift those big old boulders. I feel like that chick off Encanto. Is that the name? I think so. I feel like that chick off Encanto. Drip, 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 never stop. Yeah, that's what I feel like, and it's awesome. Even going out, like I went out the other day for a birthday party. It was so much fun because I felt good while doing it. And you can't feel alone when you're with somebody and you actually enjoy being with them. You can't feel alone. And it felt like every single one of my fears that I might be that I had just went away for temporarily. Obviously it came back. But it's those temporary moments that you start to see a progress being made. So, if you have that fear, if you have a fear of dying, dying's a great example. Once that fear stops, you go skydiving, you do stuff that, it could risk of harm that you've always been scared to do. You do that stuff, that temporary moment where you have no fear and you're happy and you're genuinely happy. Those are the moments where you can see who you are and how you are and the progress you've made. And that's amazing to me, and how far we have come. And whoever's listening to this, you've came far. I've came far from what I used to be. And it's hard for people to accept change. And trust me, I know. You can go to anybody that knows me from high school, and they'll still look at me from that kid. They'll still look at me as that kid from high school, but I'm different. I'm changed, and it makes me happy because I see it, but other people can't see it because once you know somebody for so long, change is something that they can't accept. They won't accept. It sucks, but that's why we could move forward. That's why after high school you go to college, and then that's when typically you change. Whether you become this party geek that just does party every single day, every single weekend, every Friday, Saturday, you get drunk and party. Don't recommend that, by the way. Absolutely, it's that's awful. But whether you do that or you do what I'm doing, focus on your dream, go to college, actually study, learn, put all you just everything into school, just so you can come out on top and be successful. Because I got told that I wasn't successful. I got told that I wouldn't be successful. So I kind of flipped the script and decided, you know what? You're going to be right if I don't do something about it. And so now I'm doing something about it, and it makes me a lot happier. And like I said, I recommend this for everybody that, has that fear, is go out there and do something about it. Do something that will either take that fear away or get over that fear, or just do something that, don't obviously, if you're afraid of dying, don't come close to death. I feel like that I have to say that. I shouldn't, but I feel like I do. Don't say something that's not safe, that at the end of the day you'll be fine. Just make sure that you're safe whenever you do stuff like that. And it's awful to say that, but you have a fear of spiders. Obviously, if you want to put spiders on tarantulas all over you, feel free to do that. You'll die though. I mean, it's more the fear of, if you fear alone, like being alone, because I feel like that's more common, more broad, and very relatable. If you feel like you're alone, do something. Go out there and maybe just start talking to people. Now you can download apps like Tinder or Bumble or all these. You can download them and meet people there. Or if you want to, you just go to your nearest town, do something, have confidence. Just go out there, walk up, and talk to people. And I know it's weird for me to say it, because I am such a sissy when it comes to talking to girls. I can't do it. Maybe because I know how happy I am without them, so I feel like that I don't need them, and I'm scared of rejection. But we'll talk. That's something that we don't have to talk about. But seriously, I mean, if you really want to do something, do it. I mean, it's easy to sit there and be like, oh, I'm going to do this when I get older. Or I'm going to do this when I get older. But you sit there and you wait for that time, and you're just waiting for something to come up or an opportunity to come up. Because usually that's what people do. They wait for an opportunity. Obviously, you post something on TikTok, it goes viral. There's your opportunity. You jump on that and you try to post as much things as possible. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. It just kind of depends on whether or not you executed it properly. But don't wait on opportunities. You don't have to wait on opportunities. If you post TikTok, you can promote it. Like I've promoted several TikToks, because I feel like promoting is like the best way for you to get yourself out there, and spending a little money for a little bit of reward helps. I mean, it really does. Instagram, same thing, promoting, good, but keep posting, keep doing your thing, post high quality, really take your time, put your time and work into it. And please don't do things that you are not motivated to do. It's not good for you. And people will tell you have to be consistent with whatever you do. You have to be consistent. You got to be consistent. If you're posting low quality content that you don't even like, what makes you think that other people will like it? It's simple, just thought process, and it's common sense. Just put your time into something, release it whenever you feel like it's ready. Do something that you enjoy doing. Like, I wouldn't be sitting here, I wouldn't be talking into a mic if I didn't enjoy doing it. I wouldn't be doing this at all. I probably would have a job working for till a 9-to-5 job, being bored and just hating myself every single day. That's what I'll do. But instead, I'm working on these different hobbies, and that fear of being alone, every single time I do something like this, that fear of being alone is just gone. And I'm happy. Like, doing this right here is making me so happy, because I can finally be myself. And for the people that's watching on YouTube, you know, you can see myself, and the people that listen to me on Spotify, you can hear myself. I mean, this is me, and I don't want you to take anything else from it. That old person that you might have knew, throw it out the window. He's not there no more. The people grow up, people become different, people change, people grow facial hair. I mean, that's how it works. And for men, it hits a little bit harder at different periods of time. It might hit at 25, it might hit at 30. I mean, it might hit when you're 17 years old, but me, it hit now. And it's a little bit earlier than expected. Obviously, you know, it would be fun to go out and go to a couple parties and, you know, I don't drink, but I'm just saying, like, drink a little bit and have fun, you know, meet all these girls. But, you know, it's just not me. It's not who I am. It's never been who I am. Now, whether or not in the future I'll sit on the beach having a mimosa or a margarita, I will do that 100%. I will do that now, actually. I want to go to a beach. But it's just, when you plan for the future, make sure that you're motivated to do whatever you're doing. Because if your motivation kind of shifts when you're doing it now, think about in the future how much it'll shift when you continue to do it and you keep doing it. Like, if you sit there and make YouTube videos and then you're like, I hate making YouTube videos, but I'm gaining so much popularity. So that's what it's all about. And it's not what it's all about. It's never about popularity. It's about what you want to do, when you want to do it, and how you want to do it. It's being yourself on a camera that other people can see. Because right now I can sit here and, you know, I can see the time. I can see my face in the camera, but, you know, it ain't about that. It's just saying what I want to say when I want to say it. And having a script, knowing what you're going to say. I never actually like doing that. I usually have notes about what I say, and that's about it. I don't really have a script because I always think that my future personality is always going to be better than my past. Always. It will always be my past, or better than my past. So I'll write notes, but then I'll look at the notes and I'll be like, I'm going to change this. I'm going to change this. I'm going to swap it to this. And I'm going to, while I'm sitting here talking. So I'm multitasking. And so even if I don't have notes, if I have a topic in my head that I talk about, things just kind of flow out a bit different. And I mean, that's just personally what I like doing. I mean, that's just, you know, what I like. And for you, it might be different. You might have to have something organized, and you might have to, you know, make sure that you're saying the exact thing. You follow an exact script, or you follow an exact pattern that you go through the podcast with. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I know a ton of people that do that. It's just find yourself, find what you enjoy doing, and don't go off anybody else. Like when I first started this podcast, I was looking at videos on how to start it. And then I was like, you know what? I don't need this. Like, I'm just going to start it, say what I want to say. And then that's when I made the 4 that I was talking about earlier. That's when I started making them. And I thought, oh man, this is like, I love doing this, because I'll be sitting there and I'll be just talking to a mic, and next thing you know, it's 30 minutes later and I'm like, oh shoot, I got to end it now. Like I got to find an ending point, a stopping point, but I didn't get to what I wanted to talk about. And with this one, I know I didn't mention fear a whole lot, but it's just, I want you to know that fear is something that's common with everybody, and how we deal with that fear, depending on what you enjoy doing. No one else. You can you can listen to this podcast 1,000 times over, but you will not decide what will help your fear if you don't put a little bit of thought into it. Just a little bit of thought, not a whole lot. So I challenge you today to overcome that fear some way, somehow, at any point in time. Just try to find things that you're afraid of, and then try to work against it. Like I said, I'll give you a few examples, because I feel like that's the best way for people to, you know, visualize it. Say if you're a fear of crowded people, if you're an introvert, you're fear of social anxiety, go out and go to your nearest town. Just chill out, just walk downtown, have fun. I challenge you to do that and to overcome that social anxiety, because you'll know a lot of people are mean, but a lot of people have good hearts with good intentions. Just know that. But thank you all so much for listening. It's been 20 minutes, I think, since I've done this. So thank you all so much for watching. And if you did enjoy, make sure you subscribe and like. And for Spotify, I think there's like a follow button on Spotify. Apple Music, same thing. Yeah, so thank you all so much for listening. I really appreciate it. If you haven't checked out my first podcast, go ahead and check that out. It gives a little bit more information about me. But yeah, thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. Y'all have a good one. Goodbye.